Hey there, welcome to Cards by Sandy. I'm Sandy Trower, and I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of minions running around. They're just adorable. So I was asked to make up some party invitations using the Minion, and this was the design that I came up with. So I wanted to show you how to make this Minion. Now, if you go to my website, I'm going to have a PDF that will show you all the punches that I used. It'll show you the dimensions, like these, the 1/2 inch circle, 1 inch circle, 1 1/4, 1 3/8, the black piece. And this is true to size, so you'll be able to cut down the top part of his overalls. Now, since I'm going to be making a lot of them, I just made a template for his overalls, where each time when I cut my 4x2, I can just lay it down and just cut it out based on that right there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to lay the template aside. I've already marked where I was going to cut at. And I'm going to cut this. This is his overalls. Like I said, the template will be on my website. I've got his pocket, which is on the pocket, it's just a 1 inch square. So I'm going to cut it. Get all the cutting and lay my scissors out of the way. The base is 11 inches long, 4 1/4 inches wide, and it's just scored and folded at 5 1/2. The body part, this is a 5 1/4 by 4, and I just rounded off the edges. So I'm going to set that aside, and first I'm going to show you how to layer the eyes. And it's just a matter of, this is a 1 3/8 circle. You can either use glue. I'm just going to stick on the white, which is a 1 1/4. Then this is the crumb cake, and the crumb cake is at a 1 inch. And then the little eyeball is the black, and it is a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just sort of do him over in the corner. Now, these are going to get the dimensionals on it because we're going to pop up his eyes. So we'll set the little eyes aside. Now, the first thing that I like to do before I put his overalls on, I'm going to use the Whisper White crafting, and I'm going to sponge around. Now, it takes a little bit for this white to dry, so I'll put one layer on because I'm going to be touching a little bit, and I'll go ahead and do his overall little. Okay. Let me just set this aside a little bit. Now, I want to go ahead and attach his overalls. So I'm going to lay that on here and take my paper piercer and just punch a hole. And I'm only going to do one, and then lay that over there. I'm going to do the same thing. Punch the hole. Let's move those aside. Okay. Now, the next step will be, I'm going to go back over and edge just a little bit more. Just around that edge there. Let's take, this is Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to take and I'm going to put this on top. Now, I'm not going to put any tape on the overalls, and you'll see why in just a second. A little bit more adhesive there. We don't want them popping up. Just move them out of the way. And I'm just going to line this up at the bottom and make sure it's matched up evenly on the sides. Now you'll notice the tabs are longer than here. We're going to cut those off in just a few minutes. Now once I've got these in place, I'm going to use the dots and I'm just going to go underneath. I'm just going to go underneath, put a dot on my paper, and line it up about where I want the overalls to be. And do the same thing on this side. I'm actually going to, okay, now we're going to cut off the excess here. I'm going to put my scissors. My scissors go. So now we're going to cut off the excess here. And it's starting to look like it. Go ahead, we can put this down on the paper. The next step, I like to place his eyes next. And remember, his eyes are going to be big, so you want to leave room, but you've got to add the mouth on here. So I use the grid paper. This really helps me line up things where I know I've got it evenly. So we're going to apply some tape or either glue. I think get a little bit on this side. Oops. Just a little bit on that side. Okay. I'm going to line this up on the grid paper to where I know I'm even. And take his eyes. Now the eyes, you want the black centers to be sort of going in the same direction, or he might look a little funny. And I just sort of place them, eyeball them, just eyeball them on there. Next thing is the mouth. I'm not good at mouths even, so I like to take, and I'll use a circle just to sort of see the distance of where I want to come down. And then I'll just draw a thin mouth to begin with. This lets me get a pretty good even mouth, and then I know if I want to go up a little bit more to make him smile just a little bit more. Yeah, I like that one. So once I've got the mouth, then I'll go back with the thick side of the brush and trace over the line that I drew. Alright, now we're ready to use a chalk pen, and we're going to do the edges to give it like stitching. Sometimes these pens just don't seem to work too good. And you may have to go over the chalk a few times because this is a dark night of navy. So I'll probably go back over it in just a little bit after it dries. We're going to do the same thing to the pocket. I'm going to sit here and edge it with the white again. Now you can either pop the pocket up. You can see that this one's laying flat, or you could pop it up like the eyeballs. So why don't we do that? Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just do his pocket where you can see what the difference would look like. I'm going to use a dimensional. For this one, I think I'm going to put 2 on it just to where I know he won't lose his pocket. So that's what the pocket would look like, popped up or either on laying on flat. But there's your Minion. So check out the website and you'll be able to download the set of the size circle punches that were used, along with the colors, the template for his overalls, and even one for his pocket. So jump on over there and have fun with your Minions.